If you want to be a do-it-yourself backcountry hunter, more power to you. Just know all rewards will be earned the hard way. I call it backcountry justice. There's no shortcuts to success in the mountains. Those who work the hardest are successful, period. Cameron Haynes. South Dakota, located in the heart of the northern Great Plains, is a state defined by wide open skies and rugged beauty. Stretching across more than 77,000 square miles, it's one of the least densely populated states in the country, which means there's plenty of room for wildlife to roam and for adventure to unfold. My friend Jake and I have just arrived after roughly a 10-hour drive from Wisconsin. Spirits are high as we've been waiting all year for this week. We're here on a mule deer archery hunt. We don't have much for expectations, and we know we're going to have to learn through trial and error. At this point, we've got hours of e-scouting completed. We've learned that South Dakota offers a variety of terrain in the West River area, which is where we'll be spending most of our time. Jake and I both have zero experience hunting this kind of terrain. The views were great, but we quickly got our butts kicked after the first two ridges. Since it was already late in the day, we decided to camp out for the afternoon and get the glass out in hopes of spotting some mule deer action below. The state is home to an incredible diversity of landscapes, from the rolling prairies and river valleys of the east to the dramatic buttes and pine-covered hills of the west. It's here you'll find the Badlands, carved by centuries of wind and water, and the Black Hills, sacred to the Lakota Sioux and home to Mount Rushmore. Wildlife thrives across these open spaces. Mule deer, whitetails, pronghorn antelope, elk, and wild turkeys share the land with bison herds, coyotes, and countless upland birds. For hunters and outdoorsmen, South Dakota offers some of the best opportunities in the Midwest. After a few hours of scouting, we decided to pack up and make the trip to the campsite, which was still over an hour away. It took us over an hour on dirt roads to get into this spot, so we wanted to minimize time driving at night and hopefully catch some daylight for us to get the site set up. On our drive out, we spotted this huge mule deer, along with multiple other bucks throughout the drive. We made it to our campsite, which was just a small park with a handful of camping spots scattered around it. The individual sites didn't have running water, but we did have electricity, which was a nice bonus. We got the tent set up and settled in for the next 5 days. The park had a bathroom with running water and lights, pretty well maintained for a town with fewer than 300 people. You can tell they take pride in keeping this place clean and cared for. If you ever make the trip out here, I'd recommend camping over getting a hotel. Staying outside just makes the whole experience richer. We had deer wander up near our campsite most nights, and we could hear packs of coyotes running through the plains nearby. After long days of hunting, we didn't have any trouble sleeping. We'd stop at the local grocery store on the way in, pick up some food, cook, and then hit the hay. The tents held up great, and the basic camping gear we brought was all we needed. We'd set our alarms for the next morning and get as prepared as we could for the next day. As soon as we had enough light to see, we immediately spotted some deer, along with a white-tailed buck across the creek.
Can't tell how big he really is, but
No.
We found a buck and decided to make a move. This was the first stalk of the trip. We looked over the terrain and picked out hills and creek bottoms we could walk along to get us close.
I think we're following.
We knew this stalk would be low odds considering the deer wasn't bedded and there were other deer in the area.
Okay, so this is that fence sign right in front of us. Unless it's like here. Oh, maybe it's right here.
Yeah, that's.
We figured that we're playing a volume game, so we took chances on stalks as fast as we could find them. After a 15-minute walk in, we ended up getting busted by a few doe in the area. We headed back to the truck and on to the next location. Pronghorn antelope are one of the fastest land animals in North America, capable of reaching speeds over 50 miles an hour. You'll find them scattered across the open plains of western South Dakota. Faster than anything else out here, and always just out of reach.
Yeah, they're all down there. They bunch them.
Nice buck.
We found a group of mule deer that eventually all bedded. The whole trip we were having a hard time finding bedded deer, or finding deer and bedding them, as they were always moving out of sight. This was our first good chance at a decent stalking opportunity. The deer were about a mile west of the road. They were bedded near a power line, which made it easy to keep track of where they were as we got closer. We learned from previous stalks that if we didn't pick out a landmark before we closed the gap, we would often misjudge where they were. My initial plan was to make it to this mark. It looked like it was within 40 yards from the deer.
Yeah.
We start to ditch our extra gear as we know the deer are right on the backside of this hill. Once we made it to the spot I picked out, I was able to spot the deer, but from that point they were still over 100 yards. After watching them for a bit, I saw that there was a small ridge that butted up to where the deer were bedded. I talked it over with Jake and drew up a new plan. Jake would stay at this point in case I jumped them towards him. I would backtrack and then walk around the hill we were on, then walk the ravine that leads to the smaller ridge in front of the deer, and hopefully come up with a shot. I was either going to be 30 yards this time or less than 10 yards. The wind was perfect, going strong at a south to north direction. The path I was taking couldn't have worked out any better as far as wind goes. As I closed the last 20 to 15 yard gap between me and the last ridge, I couldn't believe that I was getting this close. I could see where the power lines were, so I knew I was close. The adrenaline kicked in, and I was having a hard time keeping my heart rate down and arms from shaking. I made the ridge in a minute. Then I had to make some quick decisions on if I should use the rangefinder first or come up with my bow drawn. I quickly decided I was going with my bow first. This video is from Jake's phone. You can see the deer here, and then you can see me making my way to the ridge. As I peeked over the hill, they spotted me. I drew back quick to see if they would present a shot. I ditched my rangefinder a few yards back. I figured they had stopped around the 60-yard mark. My arrow flew high. They were somehow closer than I thought. A tough reality to face after the work we just put in.
Watching this all go down, and I'm like, and they're all perfectly looking.
Dude, oh my god.
And I'm like if you knew that doe was there, you would just drew your bow, like.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, god, that is brutal.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, I kept looking at you because I didn't know if they were still gonna be there.
Right.
It could have been a shot.
I agree, but like, what do? You only have so much time. Yeah, it was hard for me to tell. I didn't.
Oh man. There you go. Ah.
Dinner tonight consists of South Dakota's very finest New York strip steak with a side of frozen vegetables. Before the trip, I thought I had it all figured out. I built an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of what to pack, what to buy, and what we might have doubled up on. Sorting through my gear in the tent, I'm wondering if I packed too much or not enough. Hunting gear, clothes, camera gear, batteries, camping gear, all of the basics. I ran an extension cord to the tent and hooked up a power strip. Just enough outlets to get the GoPros, the main camera, my phone, and the lantern charged for the next day. Now I've got everything sorted out for the next day. We'll see what tomorrow has in store. The next morning, we were in the action right away. A nice 4x4 showed up walking across the road. There wasn't much terrain working in our advantage. I decided to see if I could catch him at a ravine he dipped into, about 150 yards ahead of us. I waited for an hour or so in the creek bottom to see if that buck would walk by, but no luck. We found a large herd of mule deer later that day. Jake went in for a stalk and they ended up busting him. This was the largest group of deer we saw the whole trip.
And it was a good clean attempt. I couldn't see it all.
blind up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me white it at all until I'm gonna keep glassing back at you.
Yeah.
And eventually you're gonna shine it.
Okay.
And then, you know, you can do arms too, you know, like keep going that way.
Yeah.
Go back if I go too far. We're talking, I mean, and there's no way you could have known, but
Let's go.
in a perfect world looking back,
Oh, dude,
I
that
would
was
have gone a
sick.
little sooner. When did the buck get up?
He got up.
After
It
the
felt like
dog.
it felt like you were staring at him for so long, dude. Like I thought he was making eye contact with
So
you.
do you see the doe to my right?
Yes.
That's who got me first.
Ah,
And so she stood up, I got down real low, and then I'm thinking, like, in my mind that buck was like 30 yards from me.
yeah.
But I'm like, that doe's about to sprint any
Yeah.
second now, so I stood up, and then by the time I got up, that buck was like 50 yards from me.
Dude,
But
I felt like you were so close.
I probably was. It just, what, you know, and you know this, like,
Yeah.
when you're down there, it's
Yeah.
like everything looks different, and I'm like,
Dude,
I didn't know what to do.
that was a
Sorry.
great stalk. But the fact that
That
you
was
got
great-
down there, dude.
Great communication.
Oh my
great,
God, it was
great
perfect.
plan. Everything worked out really.
Yeah.
It was just, once again, if that one, kind of like that one doe to the right of me
Yeah.
didn't exist,
Yeah.
I think I could have gotten a little closer.
Dude,
That worked out perfect. I like glassing
Dude.
you. You're just,
I
like I saw the doe see me, and like
Yeah.
I said, I was like, that thing's gonna bolt, and when she bolts, the buck
Yeah.
bolts. And in my mind, I thought the buck was like right at this top of the hill that I'm
Yeah.
climbing. So I'm like, all right, just get up there and see if he's still there. And then I like quickly got up there, and he wasn't there. I was
oh my
like, shit.
God.
The last stalk of the trip. We were ready to go home, but I couldn't pass up this opportunity as we were on our way back to the campsite.
I think it's a buck.
There was a buck and a few doe that were hanging out in a creek bottom, sheltered by a larger hill. It looked like an easy stalk.
It's the big tree, and it's behind them. It's behind the big tree to the right. See it right?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Can you tell how big it was?
Yeah.
As I made my way down there, along the creek bottom, I wasn't sure if the deer moved from the last time I saw them. I was extra cautious as I started to close the distance. I finally got eyes on the doe. Once I saw them, they were walking away from me. I knew they didn't see me, but they just happened to be going away from me. I had no clue the buck and a doe were both bedded to the left of me out of sight, though. I made the mistake of not scanning the rest of the area as soon as I thought I was going after the walking away does. The buck and doe were on alert as soon as they saw movement, but they didn't take off, and I could tell they couldn't make out what I was. And since the majority of my body was covered by this fallen tree branch, they were still just hanging out about 70 yards away. I realized that if I can back out undetected, I could circle around behind the hill to the left and come up over the hill and have a shot down at the buck. It sounded a lot easier than it was. As soon as I made the hilltop looking down, I could see the doe taking off across the creek, but I had the buck staring up at me. His head was just above the tall grass. I tried to range him, but the rangefinder wasn't working with the tall grass in the way. So I drew my bow, stood up, and hoped for the best. Unfortunately, as soon as I took a few more steps, all of the deer, including the buck, were across the creek. Thanks for watching. I don't think many will have watched this far, but if you have, I hope you enjoyed the stories. These videos are mostly for myself to be able to come back to over the years and relive the moments with friends and family. I'll always remember this trip. Successful shouldn't always be measured by the score of your buck. A hunt based only on trophies taken falls far short of what the ultimate goal should be. It's about enjoying the journey and opportunity to enjoy the wilderness. The farther one gets into the wilderness, the greater is the attraction of its lonely freedom. Theodore Roosevelt.